It's a new day. Oh, it's a new time. And there's a new way. Gonna live my life hard. That's the way.
Yes, it is a definite new way. It is financial tactics for the 21st century. This is Cover Your Assets. Welcome and good morning. I'm Kelly Guest, sitting at the table today, pleased to have Mr. Jason Walgrave, and he is of the Minnesota real estate team out of Remax Advantage Plus. We've got Todd Rooker, toddhelp.com, exclusive access this entire hour, and Craig Nestor, homerescueteam.org, foreclosure defense. Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning,
Kelly.
everybody.
Good
Grab
morning.
some coffee. We've got a great show today, Kelly.
Yes, I think so. I mean, but then again, I did the outline, so of course it's going to be good. Yeah, guys, you know, this is our third week here on Cover Your Assets here on The Patriot, and we really have a very, very relevant, germane topic to what's going on in people's lives right now. Describe why we're here and what we do.
Well, what we want to talk about is essentially people who want to ensure that they're never dealing with a financial crisis. Almost anyone who is looking out into our economy would say, what could happen tomorrow? When's the next shoe going to drop? So the best thing that you can do is to prepare for things potentially going wrong. And then, of course, if you're already in a financial crisis, then how to deal with that when you are. So the concept is ensuring that you're never having to deal with a financial crisis. And if, in fact, you are dealing with it, how to handle that and what options might be available to you.
That's really cool. Now, we've talked about, alluded to, if you will, every week on the show, and we'll do it again today, the Financial Crisis Bible. But, you know, we've never really explained what that is.
The Financial Crisis Bible, it's interesting because if you talk to any combat veteran, you're going to understand that you walk around all day long thinking about what could go wrong to help, and with the specter of death. So, seriously, I mean, any combat veteran who's listening to this is probably smiling because you understand you become somewhat paranoid and you concern yourself with things potentially going wrong and how to deal with it so that nobody dies. Well, in financial crisis, nothing ever goes wrong until it does. And so people tend not to think about these things until it's too late to do anything about it. The Financial Crisis Bible is to explain how things work when things do go wrong so that you can avoid that situation in the first place and position yourself. It talks all about how banks operate when things go bad. It talks all about how credit is affected and how to rebuild credit. It talks about short sales, loan modifications. It talks about all the different options that might be available to you should you wind up in that position, what to do about it, what will allow you to minimize the damage, and then, of course, how to rebuild on the other side. So when I talk about my clients being people who've often never missed a payment but are considering what's going to happen when and if they do, how to minimize the damage and how to recover afterwards, that's equally valid to somebody who's not in that position. So if a person says, look, man, I've never missed a payment in my life, Todd, never thought I would. However, I'm exhausting every resource I have trying to make my payments on time, and I don't know if I should consider just letting my real estate or my business go into foreclosure and let the bank take it over. Do I need to consider short sales, loan modifications? I've heard about forensic audits. How does that work? How will my credit be affected? And then how long will it take me to recover on the other side? That is exactly what most people are looking for in today's economy, and that is a free download called the Financial Crisis Bible.
At coveryourassets21.com. That's coveryourassets21.com. Now, to join us live throughout the hour, you do have that option as well. 855-835-8500. That's 855-835-8500. Now, you covered a really large piece of ground there when you described what is in the Financial Crisis Bible, and you touched on some of the specialties that Craig and Jason here have. But let me just ask you one quick question, because a lot of us grow up and we say, gosh, my parents never really taught me anything about money. Is this something that you could read and learn and pull the seeds out to start preparing your children as well moving forward?
Money management is the single most important thing as it relates to succeeding financially in life. And ironically, almost no one has the tools to do this. It's interesting to me the number of financial professionals. I teach classes at Kaplan Professional Schools to financial advisors, and I can't tell you how many financial planners with 20 years of experience are my clients who want help managing their day-by-day budgets. And this isn't to say that these people aren't intelligent. It is that generally people don't know how to manage money properly. And the problem with self-employed people is their answer to every problem they've ever had is, I'll just make more money. Mm-hmm. Well, in this economy, that's not an easy thing to do. So we all work so very hard to send our kids to college so they've got great earning capacity and they have the ability to succeed financially in life. But we fail to teach them possibly the most important thing, which is how to manage money day by day to ensure that we spend less than we make and we continue to build net worth, which is really stability. Won't even sell people on wealth because so often people have already shut down to that concept and don't believe it's possible. And then they just say, I want to be happy. I don't want to be rich. Well, okay, whatever. The bottom line is the same amount of money that it takes to build stability is the same, cash flow on a month over basis that will create wealth in the future, but you got to walk before you can run. Stability changes everything. So when it comes to managing money, here are the issues that people encounter that cause them to go sideways. Number one, they don't fully appreciate what they're spending. When they look at their bills, they sit down at the kitchen table. Why? Because they're stressed. The only time anybody ever wants to do a budget is when they're stressed. So they sit down at that table, they look at the current bills that are sitting in front of them, they figure out the number of pay periods they have between now and the end of the month, take a deep sigh of relief and say, thank the Lord we're going to be able to pay our bills this month. But then the end of the month comes, and those very same people would swear to God somebody must have stolen the checkbook because there ain't enough money to pay the bills each month. They forgot about Christmas, birthdays, anniversaries, Mother's Day, Father's Day,
tires,
everything. None of that was ever in the budget. So that's the first thing. They don't fully appreciate what they're spending because it's excruciating to do it. Then here's the other problem. They reconcile when the month is over and it's too late to do anything about it. If the grocery budget was $600 and they figure out they spent $710 at the end of the month after they balanced the checkbook and reconciled their accounts, the horse is out of the barn, guys. It's a little bit late. So controlled spending throughout the course of the month to know that in the fourth week of the month with 7 days left, I know that I've spent $424.32 of my grocery budget. Before I walk into the grocery, I know exactly what I've got to spend, and I don't overspend. I'm not a stupid person. If I know those things, I can manage the money. But if I don't know until afterwards, too late to do anything.
So you're the middle of the wheel, if you will, and flanked here, you've got Craig Nestor and you've got Jason Walgrave. So we know that this is, critical to the center point of not only staying in, getting out of a crisis and staying out of one in the future, but say something has gone a bit awry. Maybe somebody's upside down in their house, Jason Walgrave, and they might be getting tough on the payments. What do you bring to the table under this Cover Your Assets umbrella?
When I meet people for the first time, they ask, Jason, what do you do? And I say, I'm in real estate. Oh, they say, I'm sorry. I'm sorry to hear that.
Whoa, you must be poor.
And the reality is my team and myself have never been busier. One of the reasons for that is because we continue to change with the market. The real estate market is very different today than it ever has been. We are diversified, and what we offer our clients and our listeners to the show is we want to show you what your options are. I have a couple right now that has a condo that we're going to sell it. We have to sell on a short sale. They're upside down on it. They're in a situation where they have to move, and they're going to be able to purchase something right now. And the point of that story is that you have options. Until we sit down with you and take a look at your specific situation, you don't really know. And a lot of people, the biggest mistake, and Todd, you talk about this all the time, is doing nothing. Crawling in the closet and hoping it'll go away, and it doesn't. It doesn't go away. You need to address the issues, and you owe it to yourself and your family to look at every single option that you have, and you have options.
And it's interesting. I mean, a lot of people, you just said something that went by rather quickly there, but when Todd talks about being in a possible financial crisis and you need to come in and help someone with a short sale, if they get to it quick enough, they can oftentimes make the hop to another property prior to when all the bad stuff hits. But again, it all has to do with being prepared and strategy. Now, the pause button has been on Mr. Craig Nestor over here.
Good morning.
Good morning, but that's okay because we're going to start with you when we come back here at Cover Your Assets, Financial Tactics for the 21st Century. Now, Todd explained what the Financial Bible is, and you can download that and go to coveryouраssets21.com. That's coveryourassets21.com. Coming up, we've got Matt Grant from Rubicon Mortgage. This will be fun. We'll talk about all the changes in the industry from his perspective. And you're welcome to join us here at 855-835-8500. That's 855-835-8500. This is Cover Your Assets.
Looking into the mirror, knew I wasn't who I wanted to be. I was living life the way that I wanted, but my eyes reminded me I'm not free.
AM 1280, the